Okay, Ryan, we're gonna put a current event together and just talk about it. Okay, so what are we gonna read about? What's this article about?
About
What's the title say?
officially warmest year on the record.
What year?
2012.
So it's a 2012 is officially the warmest record on year. Okay, so if you felt like you had to turn the air conditioning up extra high this past year, you weren't just imagining things. According to a new study by scientists, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, which is the NOAA, the average temperature in 48 mainland U.S. states in 2012 was 55.3 degrees Fahrenheit, making it the warmest year ever. So what's that picture of?
A cornfield.
What's wrong with that cornfield?
It's dry.
Okay, so you think that's because it was really warm this year?
Uh-huh.
So do you remember this last summer when you were at camp, how hot it was? Remember those days where it was really hot and you couldn't go and do outside stuff because it was so hot?
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Okay, so drought made 2012 a hard year for farmers across America. That's because they didn't have enough rain. So crops like corn crops just died. Okay, so the temperature is 1 degree hotter than the previous year and 3.3 degrees above the national recorded average of the 20th century. So what does this talk about? It also talks about all the storms we've had. You remember this past year that it talks about different storms that they had, like hurricanes?
Uh-huh.
What was the most current hurricane that was really bad? Remember what was the one they just had up in the Northeast? Do you remember the name of that hurricane?
Hurricane Sandy.
Yeah, that was pretty bad, wasn't it? Do you remember what states that hit?
New York.
New York and New Jersey. Remember the people, a lot of them living on the coast, their houses just kind of got blown away. So Sandy was a really bad hurricane, and you don't normally have hurricanes in that part of the country, do you?
No.
No, so it was a pretty bad year, okay? So that's just talks about the weather. So the weather is an important thing. We'll have to, you know what we could do this year? We can like keep track of the weather and kind of keep track of how many storms we have. Remember that one year we had really bad storms and we lost electricity a couple times, remember that?
Yeah.
So we'll just keep track of that and see if the storms get really bad this year. We'll have to keep track also if it's really hot again. But that's just a current event. It talks about why we had such a high, dry summer this past year. And there were some hurricanes that we never had before, like up in the Northeast, okay?
Okay.
All right, so let me turn this off.